morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Community in Citrus Heights. Will you please rise and we'll join in singing an opening song, which is called We Are All Friends Here.
There are no strangers once you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. We are all friends here. There are no strangers once you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. And hold you in our hearts the way you are.
Thank you, Melissa. You may be seated. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity's Spiritual Community, where all people are welcome and differences are celebrated as the splendor of God's creative expression. And so we welcome each one who's here with us today, whether you're here at Sylvan Community Center or on Zoom. We have a few people on Zoom already, and or on YouTube Live. And I'm Lisa Lawson. I'm licensed Unity teacher and the ministerial candidate. That means I'm minister in training at here at Unity Spiritual Community. Our Reverend Carla is on medical leave, and she's with us on Zoom today. So, and also we have Melissa Olson as our guest musician. So we hold the light together as we join in the consciousness of joy and of peace. So let's begin in prayer. We affirm, knowing the truth that there is only one presence and one power, God the good, omnipotent. We center into peace this morning. Gathering in gratitude, affirming blessings pouring out on each one of us, our hearts open and filled with the grace of Spirit. We're joyfully present to what this day may bring. And so it is. Amen. And now I would like to invite Ashley Forsyth to read the daily word.
Hi, everybody. Today's Sunday, October 20th, 2024, and the word for today is loving. The boundless love of God expresses through me. I am loving. To be loving means to be kind, understanding, and generous. It means forgiving grievances easily and seeking to understand myself and others. In striving to be loving toward others, I begin with myself. Exercising self-compassion when I make a mistake makes forgiving others easier. Taking time for self-care makes it more natural for me to be a nurturing presence for others. Treating myself well helps make my generosity spontaneous and frequent. Love is the very nature of God. I am a spiritual being, which means love is my nature too. Through my loving nature, I am positive, optimistic, hopeful, and faith-filled. I am the heart and hands of God on earth. I am loving. And the scripture today is from 1 Corinthians 13, 4 and 7, and it reads, "Love is patient, love is kind. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things." Loving.
Thank you, Ashley. So we welcome each one of you who's here with us at Unity Spiritual Community today. And we know that you are here by divine appointment. And we thank you for adding to the joy of our Sunday service. And if it's your first time with us here today, our ushers should have brought you a welcome packet, and you can please sign our mailing list if you'd like to be on our email newsletter. That comes out every week, and sometimes there's articles, and it keeps you up to date on what our activities are. We take a moment now to greet each other, and we just remember that a lot of Unity people like to give hugs, but sometimes we don't. So if you'd prefer a namaste or a handshake, just indicate that, and we'll respect that together. So at this time, please rise and greet each other, remembering that your cue to go back to your seat is when the music starts. Thank you, Melissa. Wow, I love that song. So this is our second week in our autumn journey into abundance. And what we're doing is we're studying this book by Reverend Edwene Gaines called The Four Spiritual Laws of Prosperity. And we're working this week on the second law, which is goal setting. But within that section of the book, she has a second chapter that is shorter, and it's called Stepping Outside Your Comfort Zones. So I thought we'd do that as a featurette. Sometimes we break things up and we have a little section early in the service to just kind of, give us some more information and things to think about. And so what we do know is that as you take the steps to let abundance come into your life, things are going to change. And we know that change, even when it's good, can be really kind of scary. And you're going to have to step outside your comfort zones. So we have to learn to welcome the change. So I thought that we could maybe do a fun exercise together to get us going on this in this part of the service. And you're welcome to write things down for yourselves on the back of the sheet of paper that you were handed, but we're going to do this together. So the first thing I want to do with you is let us think of 5 scary things that there's no way you would ever do. And just let's think of them together and go ahead and call out. Jump out of an airplane, okay. Yeah. What else? Walk a high tightrope. What else? Public speaking. Okay, good to know yourself on that one, yeah. Anything else? Mountain climbing. These are all really physical things. And yes? Zip line. Wow. Be a mathematician. Yeah. Okay. All right, so now we're going to move on. Is that anybody else have a burgeoning activity that they want to share before we move on to the next step? No? Okay. Next step. 5 scary things you've always dreamed about doing, but never had the nerve to do. Jump out of an airplane? Did you want to do it?
At some point I will.
You want to public speak, is that what you said? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. You just did, though. What else? Yes? Travel alone. Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to swim in the ocean, like the Pacific Ocean, right? Cold. Okay.
Perform my music.
Ooh, perform your music. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Next, 5 small and only slightly scary things that you could do today if you chose to. Is that harder to think of? Make a phone call, okay? What else? Maybe for me, go for a bike ride up a big hill or something. I could do that today, later. Okay. Well, if you think of anything, you can write it down. So Edwene Gaines' process here is to do this last baby step. And because she says you have to grow or die. That we all have fear. And so the key is to learn to move through our fear and to act in the midst of it. And you can also go through the process of thinking, what's the worst that could happen? Did that include your preparation of that? And so as we learn to take baby steps through our fear and make those first initial little steps, we gain the courage to approach one of those bigger things that you want to do, maybe one of those things in the middle category. And remember, even as you step toward your heart's desire, even in your fear, that you're holding on to the hand of God. And thus ends the featurette. So let's have some more music.
Please sing along.
We're going to sing along, and you can get up and dance if you want to on this one. This is one of Mark Stanton Welch's songs.
Feel the fear and do it anyway. I feel the fear and do it anyway. I feel the fear and do it anyway. I feel the fear and do it anyway. Right here, right now, I'm free, so free.
Everybody,
Feel the fear and do it anyway. I feel the fear and do it anyway. I feel the fear and do it anyway. I feel the fear and do it anyway. Right here, right now, I'm free, so free. I feel the fear and do it anyway. 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 Right here, right now, I'm free, so free. I feel the fear and do it anyway.
yeah. Thank you. So the thing I love about these intentional songs, which is what Mark Stanton Welch calls them, is that they're like mantras. They're songs that we can take into our lives and just sing them as how we're going through the day. And another really good one for that kind of music, of course, is Karen Drucker. And she's a swimmer, and she would swim, and these mantras would be going through her head. So we take advantage of that. So this is the time in our service that we draw into a more quiet space. We have a prayer box that is in the lobby. Brian's going to bring it out. It's a little blue box because we're church in the box here, and we bring almost everything in. And this is a place where you can leave your prayer requests for yourself or people you love or for the world. And we take those prayers, our prayer chaplains take those prayers and pray over them and then send them off to Silent Unity where they are prayed over for 30 days. So the prayer request slips are with the box, and we do encourage you to do that. Also, we have a little place to pray with our prayer chaplains in the front. Stevie and Sylvia, neither of them are here today, but I'm happy to pray with you. Just come get me, and we'll go over and have a personal prayer. So today, as we draw our attention to our prayer box, we breathe in an atmosphere of God's perfect peace. We see all conditions harmonized and healed in the presence of God's life, knowing that God is the flow of life within all bodies and beings. Guided and directed by God's light within, we know the way to go, and we maintain our vision of peace within and among all people. And we draw Reverend Carla into the spirit of healing today. She's with us. We give her a special blessing, seeing every cell in her body responding to the loving care she's receiving. And we also send our hearts out to the conflicts in the Middle East, visioning that peace today. Ask and you shall receive. Knowing this, we release our concerns into the loving care of the Christ Spirit. It is well, and it is so. Amen. And I invite you to prepare with me for a time of meditation.
We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light from within. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light from within. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening.
As we deepen into the space of sacred stillness, we release, letting go of fear, letting go of our belief in limitations. We open to something so much bigger than us, but that also intimately is us. In this secret place of my soul, I let my barriers go. I relax and let my heart open ever so tenderly. I remember what it was like to be a little child, fresh, open, eager, trusting. I merge into the energy of that time of my life's expression, and I am happy. In this energy, I feel my eager desire for life. There is no holding back my desires. They are pure bliss. They are just ahead of me, within reach, if I take the first step. The world turns, and my soul evolves with my desires, and I am led to a further expression of my divine nature. As we enter the dark rest of winter, the seeds of new expression germinate within the deepest reaches of my being. For good rushes to me, and God's highest law is love. With God, anything is possible. In this place of darkness and possibility, let us spend some time in the silence. We bring our thoughts and our consciousness back to this present moment, carrying with us the fresh energy of our childlike nature. With God, anything is possible, for God's highest law is love. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. Wasn't the wind marvelous this week? Whew, yeah. Did you guys catch a little rain? Yeah. I did at our house in the country, and I could smell that rich dampness of the earth when I got home on Wednesday. And we can feel that change in the air. And I mentioned winter in the meditation because autumn is the beginning of that change, and we can feel it. It's this beginning of a new season of germination, but before that, we get to celebrate this time of harvest. So it's a time to focus on abundance and joy, which is why we're having an autumn journey into abundance and taking a look at this Edwene Gaines book, The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity, which will help us learn ways to manifest our true nature, which is abundance and joy. So, just for a little review, Edwene Gaines' 4 spiritual laws of prosperity are simple, but they are not optional. And what I mean by that is that spiritual laws are laws that exist in the universe apart from us. We call them big T truths in Unity. They're part of our universe, just like gravity. And through her studying these principles, studying prosperity, and all of her work in this field and all of her teachings, this is what she's come up with. So we're going to review it. The first one that we took a look at 2 weeks ago, you can find this, this talk online on our YouTube channel, is that you must tithe 10% of all that you receive to the person, place, or institution where you have received your spiritual food. So whatever's nourishing you spiritually, that's just the law. That's the amount that traditionally has been in practice through many, many cultures. So by doing this, you put God first in your finances. You're trusting that all your good comes to you, and you're entering that cycle of giving and receiving, the cycle of circulation. The second one, which we will look at today, is to set clear-cut, tangible goals. The third, we'll do this in second week of November, is forgive everyone all the time, especially yourself. And the fourth is to seek and follow your divine purpose. We'll take a look at that the third week in November. So last week we learned that following the spiritual law of tithing sets that great circle of giving and receiving in motion. And by doing that, it's like you start a flow. And I like to think of it kind of like snow melting in the mountains. It's coming down in this great river, and all this good is rushing to you. But you need something to catch it with. And just like with the American River, Folsom Dam catches the American River, and we have Folsom Lake, and we have a great reservoir of water. Edwene Gaines says that setting concrete and practical goals creates a vessel with which you can catch your good. So let's take that in one more time, because it seems a little odd, but you think of this vessel. So all this good is rushing to you. And when you set your concrete, specific goals, practical goals, you're catching that good and able to manifest it in your life. Okay, one more review. Edwene Gaines' definition of true prosperity is a vitally alive physical body that is a comfortable home for us as spiritual beings. And then the next one would be that our relationships are satisfying and honest, and they work. The third definition of true prosperity is having work that we love so much, it's play. And then the last one is having all the money we can spend. Yeah. So when we think of goals, a lot of times we think of things that we should do, right? Things we need to aspire to and work hard to. But Edwene Gaines, when she's talking about goals, isn't talking about that kind of goal where you have you might get a trophy for some accomplishment. they come from your heart's desires. Those are where your goals come from. And I even like to think of it more like, say, a soccer goal or a football goal. Think of the excitement that goes with that when they're achieved. Unity's co-founder, Charles Fillmore, says in his book, Prosperity, desire is the onward impulse of the ever-evolving soul. Were you ever taught that having desires is not good? I know that kind of in some of our upbringing, we can be, oh no, you shouldn't want anything. Well, he says it's the onward impulse of the ever-evolving soul, that you need it for your spiritual development. That desire propels us forward into new life experiences that we need for our soul's evolution of consciousness. And it makes all the difference. Can you imagine shooting an arrow? If you shot an arrow without that focus, it might go, just anywhere, right? So having desire is like focusing on the target when you're shooting an arrow. So to know your heart's desire, you need to go into the secret place of your soul. We kind of started that in the meditation today. And in that place, you can dream and you can let your mind wander, and you become reacquainted with the real you. And in that place, you dream big, like a child. Because the reason that you're here is to experience your divine nature. And you might need to relearn how to welcome joy. And in the book, she talks about a woman who talked about learning how to increase her bliss tolerance. How's your bliss tolerance? So our dreams become our goals. And then when we set our goals, it's like planting seeds. And it's the perfect time of year to do this, as we can kind of take those seeds and go into that dark place of hibernation and let them germinate during the wintertime. So Edwene Gaines has given us a wonderful roadmap for goal setting. And I gave you a process we're going to take a look at in a minute. But first of all, she talks about the essential elements of goal setting. And the first one is to cast aside your limitations. If you think you're too old or too young or too weak or too sensitive or too anything or not enough anything, you can cast that aside. I saw a story about Diane Friedman, who's 103 years old. Who's heard of her? Okay, there she is. Diane Friedman began running when she was 70. She's now 103, and she is now setting records in the 100 and 200-yard dash. And isn't that the wonderful thing about social media, is that we can see stories like this? So what mirror are you looking in when you look at yourself? Maybe try looking in God's mirror instead of that distorted reflection that you're used to. So when you move beyond your limiting perceptions, you'll step into the role of who you really, truly are, which is a child of God. You are an expression of the Most High. That's who you are. And when you think something's impossible, it's none of your business how it's going to happen. That's God's work. You just start. What would your life look like if you had no limitations? Those are Ashley's rocks. They're right here, actually. She makes incredible rocks. None of your business how it's going to happen. Your dreams are leading you there. You wouldn't have those dreams if they weren't possible. So the second thing is to open yourself up to possibility. And think like a child. Be like a child. Think big. So some of you know my son Liam. He comes here and plays music with us, and he's part of our Youth of Unity, but he's almost 19. He's my younger son. And when he was a little boy, he always wanted to fly RC planes, even when he just drove RC cars around. And our idea was that, oh, that's too hard. That's a really expensive hobby. No, you're probably not going to fly RC planes, but their dad thinks big. So there's Liam. He did fly RC planes and drones. That's probably when he was about 8. And not only did he end up flying RC planes and drones, now he's a pilot. He flies real planes. So yeah, it is incredible, huh? We didn't know. Yeah. So be like a child. Third, being specific is crucial. So I want you to think about, say, if you're ordering something online, let's say Zappo. Who's ordered from Zappo before? It's a shoe store, okay. So at least we start with a shoe store. But if you just type in shoe, what are you going to get? You might get that pair of shoes or just anything, right? Everything. So you might add women's shoes. Still maybe isn't what you want. So you might add running shoe, size 8, purple, right? So it's like that with goal setting. You have to be specific about what you want. The fourth element is to let go of self-judgment. Do not worry if you should want it. Don't worry about that. If you want chocolate cake, do you need a reason to want chocolate cake? No, you just know that you want it. And it doesn't matter if you should want it anyway, because you're going to keep your goals private. You're not going to tell people around you what your goals are, because it's just between you and God. And maybe there's a prayer chaplain or that can really hold that space for you. You got to remember that desire is the impulse toward development of your consciousness. And one of Edwene Gaines' techniques for this part of letting go of self-judgment is actually what she calls the 21-day challenge. And you can find this probably online or in her book. We're not going to go into it in detail today because it would take too much time, but for 21 days, just don't complain, don't criticize, and no negative language. Does that sound hard? Yeah. Well, she says if you make a mistake, you have to start over again. Now, I've never specifically done this. Sometimes in Lent, we try to give up negative thoughts. Yeah. She says it's a way to get power and energy. So, you could try that. The last one is to give up what you don't want. And my example for that one would be, I have a loft in my bedroom, and that's like my little study area. And I use it for teaching my classes that you guys are in. That's my loft. Or sometimes for writing or study. I have my spiritual books up there. But some of the shelves are full of old DVDs and VCR tapes, like that. Why do I have VCR tapes? Well, maybe the grandkids will want them someday. And there's some boxes of old photos and that I plan to have digitized, but they're taking up space. They've gotten messy and dirty, and I cannot have that space until I move those out. And what she says, Edwene, is that if you don't move voluntarily, the universe is going to give you a kick in the pants to make something happen. Like, do you ever notice if you're saving something in your garage, it ends up getting wet and moldy or mouse infested? Yeah. And then you have to throw it out. Sometimes it's easier that way. So those are the 5 essential elements she gives us of goal setting. And now we're going to take a look at her 10-step formula, which I did give you on your handout, so you can take that with you. The first one, oops. Oh, I didn't put it on the slides. You have it on your handout. The first one is to write down all your desires, large or small. And you can write down anything you like, just as they come to you. Don't have any restraint. The second is to choose your most important desires. And ooh, I missed this part when I did it. List them in order of importance. Start with 12. Wow. She wants you to be specific and take steps. And that'll help you take the steps to get ready. I did this. I did 12. At first I thought, I don't have things that I really want and desires. But then I realized that maybe part of the reason I didn't really recognize my desires is because they're so big. They're so big that I was discounting them as desires. Then when I got flowing, no problem. I had 12 and 13 and 14, and I didn't order them importance, though. Okay. The third thing is, what changes do you need to make to achieve your goal? And you do this prayerfully. You're open to receiving the answer. So I found that when I was writing down my goals and really being specific, that was what was helping me to understand, oh, I'm not doing my loft because I really don't like cleaning. I really don't like it. Maybe I need somebody to help me with it, something like that. And then you choose the date by which you desire to achieve each goal. So that was interesting to me, that you order them in order of importance, but it's not necessarily that the most important one is the first one. Like, we have this idea that maybe we want to expand our kitchen someday because we have a little tiny kitchen, like smaller than some people's, kitchen in their RV or something. It's small. And, but, I'm giving myself till 2028 for that one to happen, but realistically, but maybe my loft, I'd like to have that done by Christmas time. So that helps me to make it real. And then the next thing is to read your list of goals at least 3 times every morning and every night, which makes it an affirmation and draws power to the goal. Now, I made my list. I haven't been doing that every night. I'm going to have to really make an effort to do that. I'll bring a few of them to mind during the day. So I'll try that. Then the next thing is imagine yourself achieving each goal. Yeah, get a picture of that loft or that kitchen in my mind. And act as if you have already achieved your goals, which sends a powerful message to the universe. She says, don't tell others because that can cast doubt in your mind. It's between you and God, or maybe a prayer partner. And then cross off your goals as they're achieved and continue to add new ones. And by doing this, you're inviting circulation. And then lastly, above all, remember that God's highest law is love. So you're existing in God's love. Now, we don't think of God as this being out there, although you can if you want to. God is that indwelling and external oneness, that presence of good, that divine intelligence in this world that is accessible and is us all the time. So we want to remember that's there, present for us. So we set our goals without thought to financial constraints or physical limitations, because with God, all things are possible. And then once we've done this process, the message has been sent, and we trust it's coming to us, just like those shoes we ordered on Zappo. So I did this with my house when we built our straw bale house. We got a construction loan, and we had to do this specifically. So this is kind of plays out in life in other ways. We had to submit plans. We had the idea of our house in mind and the desire for it, but they don't just hand you all the money at once. You have to describe each stage of the project, which is very specific, and they pay you for each stage you accomplish. So we believed that we were going to have this house, and we went through those steps and those stages, and we were able to receive what we needed as we went and took the action steps to help it happen. So we have a house. And imagine if I applied this goal setting to my kitchen, or if you apply this process to your dreams. And when we do this, when we set our goals in this way, we develop what is called directed faith. When our heartfelt desire is coupled with trust in God's generosity, there's magic and power in it, and the universe sends us wonderful things. Even if you have to wait, or if the manifestation shows up sometimes in a form you don't recognize. Or you might realize that maybe in this process you don't even just want it after all, just like maybe that boyfriend you loved so much in junior high. So Edwene Gaines, we'll close with a quote from her and then one by Goethe. When it comes to getting what you want, sincere effort is required on your part, but above all other things, you must never lose sight of the fact that with God, anything is possible. By following both the spiritual law of tithing and the spiritual law of goal setting, you can have anything you want, no matter how unattainable, extravagant, or outlandish it may seem. It will be God's great joy to give it to you. And Goethe's quote, "Whatever you do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius and power and magic in it." And so it is. Thank you so much.
Wake up, lay down the burden, leave it alone. It's time to move on. Step up with a light heart, shout it all around, do your part. With a word like a prayer, send it out everywhere, it will grow. And the truth of this force leads us back to the source we all know. Live out the best of your life. Live out the best of your life. Take a chance, reap the reward. And the truth of this force leads us back to the source we all know. With a word like a prayer, send it out everywhere, it will grow. And the truth of this force leads us back to the source we all know. Live out the best of your life. Live out the best of your life. Live out the best of your life. Live out the best of your life.
Thank you. And at this time, we ask our ushers to come forward. And Brian has it's a bag that's going to be passed around. And we ask that everyone pass it so we can bless it. We know that some people make their offerings online or have regular scheduled offerings, but your energy goes into the gifts and everything that's circulated. So we're going to pass it through everybody and all the way around. So we breathe into the gratitude for all of the good that our gifts bring as they pass through our community. We are so grateful for each other, for the gifts and for the good that we do in this world. In this great circle of life, our hearts open, we give generously and joyfully, knowing that our hearts are also open to receive all the gifts of the universe. And so knowing, we bless these offerings and all that they provide. We say our affirmation together with me. I give thanks for my new vision of God as my infinite, constant, abundant source. And one more time. I give thanks for my new vision of God as my infinite, constant, and abundant source. And if you would like to make your offering online, is a donation button both on our email newsletter that goes out every week and also unitycitrusheights.org. It's real easy to make your gift there. So let's sing a song together. Just one time. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. Oh, I'm so grateful, 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 I'm grateful. We just have a few announcements today. We are having a potluck and potlatch after the service, and even if you didn't come prepared, you're welcome to stay. We'll think of it like loaves and fishes. We have enough. And so we also, the potlatch is a wonderful Native American tradition that we practice. People bring things that they are finished with but still have great value to them, and they put them on the table for anyone to take, and then you're welcome to take whatever's there. Next week, we will be on Zoom. That is it says 10:29, but that's wrong. It's 10:27 next week. That is our stay-at-home Sunday service. It gives us a chance to just be a little more relaxed, stay at home, but we still meet on Zoom, and it's a chance for us to have wonderful guest speakers from far away as well as near. And next week we'll have Patricia Bahia, who is an award-winning musician and also a speaker. She'll speak with us on Better When We Get Together. So plan to join us 11 a.m. on Zoom. The join service link is on our homepage of our website. It says join service, I think it says. So you just click that, it'll take you right there. And on the 2nd of November, we're going to be having a regional Youth of Unity rally. That is for Uniteens all the way from 11 and YOUers, Youth of Unity, 11 to 18. So some of us will be carpooling down there. It's a great opportunity to try a rally out because it's only one day, so the younger kids can feel more comfortable with that. If you know someone who's interested, just talk to me or Amy. And then on the 3rd, we'll be right back here at Sylvan Community Center with Reverend Sarah Nichols. She's a CSL minister, and she's going to be our speaker on how to know what you know. It's about decision making right here at Sylvan Community Center. And that's all the announcements. So let us circle up now and sing our closing songs.